cross-cultural consultant. As a cross-cultural consultant, I work with both companies and individuals, enabling them to become more effective when working, living and doing business across cultural bounds. So for example, in the workplace, I help people to become just as successful and effectual when working in multicultural teams as when working in a monocultural team, for example. You know, take a manager in Ireland. You could be a really good Irish manager. Doesn't necessarily mean that you'd be just as successful or just as good a manager in the Netherlands. You know, and if you do things the Irish way, the chances are you probably won't be. I do this through offering customized services, customized trainings, workshops, consultancy. I do a lot of work for internationals who come to the Netherlands, help them understand the Dutch culture and the impact that the culture has on the way business is done here, and looking at how can they adapt their way of doing things to become more effective and successful working in a Dutch business environment. Different cultures have different norms and values, you know, different things that are important to them, and this often leads to friction within teams. However, through an understanding or awareness of your own cultural norms, coupled with an awareness of the cultural norms of your teammates, you know, using these and using particular tools and strategies, it's possible to overcome cultural differences in the workplace and have a very strong, effective team which plays to the cultural strengths of all the different team members. I like to focus on when it comes to culture, focus on the why, not the what. I think it's very important for people to understand why other people act in a particular way. You know, if you can understand the why behind people's actions, you don't necessarily have to like it, but if you know what the why is, it makes it a lot easier to deal with it. It makes it a lot easier to find a solution that's workable and effectual without being constantly frustrated by different people's, by the different cultures of your teammates around you. I think the fact that everything suddenly went online for me was a little bit of a challenge. I was a bit apprehensive in the beginning, I must say. I was a little bit nervous about how everything would go when suddenly everything moved from face to face to everything moved online. It's a lot harder to build rapport with somebody online than it is in a face-to-face environment. My workshops and trainings, they tend to be very, very interactive. I'm very practical. So I use theory to explain something, and then I very quickly translate that into everyday life. What does it mean in the workplace? What does it mean with your manager? What does it mean when you're making decisions? This leads to a lot of interaction, a lot of discussion about things that have happened, things that could happen, what went wrong, and why did things go wrong? How can you do things differently a different time, the next time? So I was a bit quite apprehensive about how would this work online as well, but I must say I was pleasantly surprised at how well it went. You have to be more aware of it and put a bit more energy into building that interaction and building the rapport online. But I must say now I get pretty much almost as much interaction online as we did in a face-to-face session. I think the fact that people are also used to doing things online as well makes them more open and more kind of easier to discuss things and to ask questions, so that helps as well. I think one of the challenges that I faced was, I guess, the presence of small people in the background. Any of you with children will probably recognise this. But I think what was quite embarrassing 6 months ago at the beginning of COVID-19 now seems to be the norm. And it seems sometimes like an online meeting isn't an online meeting unless you have a child running in, asking you what's for dinner or looking for their football shorts. So it's quite interesting how things have changed. Homeschooling. I think homeschooling for us was a complete and utter nightmare. No other way of describing it in our house. Sure, some of you can also maybe relate to this. I think homeschooling works well with some children. It didn't work for either of ours for very different reasons. I'm glad it's over, and I hope it never, ever, ever, ever happens again. I think the financial impact of COVID-19 may well affect my business. I think as companies are earning less money, they have less money to spend. Therefore, training budgets often tend to get cut. And I guess the type of training that I offer tends to be one that might not make the cut-off mark. Many people underestimate their own culture in the workplace and the challenges and the friction that it can cause. They also don't often realise the benefits of doing a cross-cultural training and what it can mean to have a well-oiled, functioning, multicultural team in your company. It can make your company a lot stronger. So we'll see. I'm not too sure. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see what the future brings. I think on the positive side, this is an opportunity for me to grow my business. You know, I can't see things going back to everything being met face to face. People have realised what can be achieved online, And I see in the future a mixture for me of face-to-face trainings and online trainings. At the moment, my customers, the work I do, are mainly customers who are either based in the Netherlands, have offices in the Netherlands, or have their own clients in the Netherlands. So I'm very much, I guess, Netherlands based. However, with a laptop, I have a laptop, someone else has a laptop, I can offer trainings to people, customers all over the world. So I'm seeing this as an opportunity to grow my business and attract more overseas customers. So again, I'm positive.